everybody. We're going to be taking a 1-week break, so we will not be posting next week on October 27th, and we'll be back with a new episode for you guys on November 3rd. Thanks so much, and enjoy the Halloween holiday.
You had a really bad week.
I did.
We said that last time.
Yeah, it got even worse.
Oh, sweetie.
No, yeah, my dad died. My stepdad, who was close enough to be a real father.
He was the parent.
Yes.
In your father ecosystem.
Yes. Yeah, not to be confused with my actual father, who was a terrible human being.
Your sperm donor.
Yes, my sperm donor, awful person. My actual father, almost the exact complete opposite of that. One of the best people, basically around. Has been around since I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. And he stuck around.
He did, yeah.
Which a lot of stepdads don't do.
Yeah.
Because let's be clear, him and your mom are not still together.
Oh, no, have not been together since, I think, maybe before the millennium started, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, no, but he basically was like, well, I'm your dad now. I stuck with it. And, I've had a very close relationship with him over the last, 20-something years.
Yeah. I met him about the same time I met you.
Yeah.
Because he used to bring you to the LARP.
That's because I convinced him to go LARPing with me. Because every time I would come up with a hobby and I would tell Mike all about it, he would want to be like, oh, well, that's interesting. I want to go. So he went LARPing with me. I dragged him into anime conventions. He helped me on Gaia Online when we used to do Gaia. I don't know if you ever did that online.
My favorite hobby of yours that you told me he got you into. So Mike played the guitar.
Yes.
And he tried to teach you the guitar, but your hands are too tiny.
I have the too small hands.
Because again, you are medically short.
Yes.
You have Danny DeVito disease.
Yeah, true fact.
And so he got you a matching ukulele.
Yeah, yes, he and I have a matching acoustic guitar and ukulele so that we could play music together. Because that was the only way I could do it, was the smaller instrument.
That is so. I'm sorry. That's so funny.
Thank you. I am hopefully those are the things I'll be able to get them back. We're doing that whole life thing right now of after somebody dies, you have to clean out their stuff, and it's a little in that awkward phase where everybody goes through when you have a family member die. But you know what? He went quickly and he went relatively painlessly, and honestly,
what can any of us ask for but that?
What more can he ask for? Yeah.
I love that he has supported your dreaming.
For
so much of your life.
I told him
because it's hard to be a creative.
Yeah. When I wanted to be a writer, he bought me my first laptop. He bought me my first copy of Photoshop. He bought a 13-year-old Photoshop, which was ridiculous in hindsight, because I told him I wanted to do digital art, so we did that. When I told him that I wanted to run a booth at Fanime, he's the one who he paid for our booth at Fanime.
What did you sell?
We sold, I'm going to be honest with you, fan art of Interview with the Vampire.
I love you so much right now.
I made $7 and I think a lollipop.
Oh, that's precious.
Yeah, he even got us our own LLC, which was called Black Sheep Studios. So we had that as our we got little business cards and everything. Oh man.
My God.
No, he was my first subscriber. Like my first fan, and yeah, I was helping him try to listen to this podcast, because even though this is a ridiculous thing.
Did you have to explain to him how to find podcasts?
I did.
Mike,
I'd be like, on
you were
your
a real
phone.
one, Mike.
Yeah. So, and I just knew that, he enjoyed both of us so much that I just knew he was going to get a kick out of this project. So anyway, Thanks to dads, even who aren't your blood dads, right?
Hell yeah. Found family.
Found family.
Which is relevant for the plot of this
book.
Pivot. Nailed it.
Nice. Sliding in. Megan, do you want to talk about a book?
Hell yeah, I want to talk about a book.
But before we do that,
Shall we tell the people who we are?
Tell us who we are.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Emmy.
And you're listening to Smut in Public.
Smut in Public.
Smut in Public.
Where we bring you only the most secretive of not Mafia Romance.
Where we find the romances that are ready to bundle you up, hide you in a trunk, and push you in a river.
Yes. This romance is taking us places.
Yes. Places we genuinely didn't want to go. We're very scared. Please send help. We're blinking. Help.
Yes.
Help.
Yes. Yeah, we honestly got bamboozled into doing a mafia romance for
We
this.
we got slow stepped into it.
Yeah, like we did
Yeah.
not set out to do a mafia romance for this one, but
Ever.
it just
I don't
happened
think
to
we
be.
ever intended to read a mafia romance.
No, I think we actually said the interest wasn't really there.
Yes. Although here's what I will say. From what I have read, a lot of mafia romance has virginity trope. One of my least favorites. But that was neither of these two books.
No, true fact.
Which I appreciated.
I do sort of go for the mafia romance. To me, it's like if you write a mafia romance, you kind of are sort of obliged to be like, but we all know mafia bad, right? Guys murdering people for money.
Wink, wink.
Not good.
Not good, right?
But yeah, so he's always got to try to be getting out. And to me, that's sort of like,
Defeats the purpose?
It kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah.
Maybe we need to read more in the genre before
Maybe
we judge.
we need to learn more about the mafia romance genre.
That's
see.
okay.
We'll see. So today's book, we're doing another sequel today. We've now done enough episodes that we can get around to some sequels.
Which I'm happy about.
Today's book is Caught Up, which is by Navessa Allen again. And this is book 2 of the Into Darkness series. And
Yes.
there's going to be a book 3. It's called Game On, and that's going to be released in March 2026.
Yep. And this one came out just in June of this year.
Yeah.
So pretty
very
new
recent.
release.
And it's 352 pages, so it's about the same size as Lights Out.
A little shorter.
Yeah. So the summary for Caught Up. Junior, aka Nico Trochi, is the son of a mafia boss and is caught up in his family's violent world. In high school, he and Lauren Marchetti were sweethearts, but tension between their mobster families forced them apart. Now, Lauren works as a cam girl and the co-owner of a kink club. She hasn't seen Junior in a decade, but he's still carrying a torch and is desperate to insert himself back into her life. When Junior approaches Lauren a decade after their high school romance, she isn't eager to revisit the past, but their chemistry is hard to ignore. Will Lauren open up her heart to romance and risk it being shattered a second time? And can Junior separate the man he is now from the sins of his past, especially when his father is desperate to drag him even further into the dark?
The vibes for this book are a dark contemporary romance that finally fully embraces the mafia genre that book 1 had that kind of hard pivot to.
That turn to.
Yeah, and what we got set up for in Lights Out. And Caught Up plays with a lot of themes around kink and consent culture. And along with that often comes conversations around power dynamics, both in a romantic setting, but also in family relationships. Especially that spectrum of sort of protectiveness versus control, right? And again, I think that comes up in both the romance and in the family and the background that's going on, especially for Nico Jr. in his life.
Yeah.
We also explore the importance of found family throughout this book and intentional community building when your birth family maybe isn't there for you. This is too dark. I was going to say you were really on theme for this book.
Yes. A timely read.
Yeah. Well, and like just on a personal note, I think something you and I have in common is that both of us have struggled with our birth families and feeling like we have found full acceptance there because of the way that we live our lives.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think both of us share a value that found family is family.
Yes.
Right. That the community you make for yourself is just as, if not more important than the one you accidentally got birthed into.
Yeah.
And so it was timely.
We really vibed with that part of this book, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So some content tags for this book. We do get dual point of view. This is a second chance romance for Nico Jr. We have online sex work. Voyeurism and exhibitionism is about as kinky as it gets, so some public sex, talking about kink, being in kink spaces. Then on the darker side, there is some stalking, slut shaming, and then I would say religious and family trauma. And because it is a mafia book, there's a little bit of gore, but it's very minor.
Yeah.
I would say this is not a book that's going to be too violent for anybody to read.
Yeah.
And it's not sexual violence.
The spice rating for this one is 4.5. I liked having a solo spice scene before the couple even actually gets together because Junior subscribes to Lauren's 18 plus content online.
As he should.
Yeah, and things definitely ramp up quickly once the couple gets coupling. But for a book that is so kink forward, the kink elements felt very mild.
Agreed.
Yeah. And now maybe my meter is broken, but I personally think watching a straight couple have sex in the same room as maybe like 20 other people, as far as kink goes, like it's just maybe to me, I'm like, that's about as basic as it gets if you're going to a sex club.
I'm going to be honest with you. Both of our meters are broken.
That is true.
And so similarly, I was like, is this kinky? I can't tell if this is kinky.
Yeah,
But I'm sure that there is a large population in this country who would be like clutching their
Oh my
pearls
God.
and fanning themselves.
Yeah.
But as Lauren says later in the book, is it really that weird to have sex in front of your friends?
and that's the minute where I was like, oh no, I'm at wherever Lauren's at.
Yeah, I think you're further on that spectrum than I am. But even I was like, this feels like a 4 or a 3 on the kinky spectrum. So
Yeah, props to this book, though, for having very realistic renditions of kink spaces.
yes,
though.
which we will definitely talk about more.
And so there is, for the fact, at the end of this book, there is at least one sort of light BDSM scene, and there is a very sexy confessional booth scene that was very memorable.
We love sacrilege.
Yeah.
On this podcast.
The rainbow rating for this book is a 2.5, because although the main couple is M and F, I believe that Lauren is bi. She does mention at one point that she had an ex-girlfriend, and one of the main roommate characters is non-binary and goes by they, them pronouns. So, and also in general, queer culture kind of goes hand in hand with kink culture.
For sure.
So it is primarily featured in this novel, so we went with 2.5.
I think that's fair. So we're going to take a quick spoiler break, as per usual. If you haven't read the book yet, listen anyway. Stick around. You know you don't mind spoilers.
We're not going to give away enough of it that it's going to ruin the book.
Yeah, we promise we never ruin the ending of the book. But if you really, really hate spoilers, take a break, give it a read, and then come back.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you in a minute. One of the great privileges we've had since launching Smut in Public has been meeting authors and fellow creators who share our love of spicy romance.
We find new book besties every day, and supporting their work helps us all build a community together.
Our new book bestie, Ari, runs the Spicy Romance Book Club. It's an online apparel brand with cozy fits, perfect to wear as you curl up with the next book on your TBR list.
The Spicy Romance Book Club is a small, female, POC-led business, and Smut in Public listeners can enjoy 15% off their entire store order with promo code SMUTINPUBLIC.
Find your next book bestie by wearing your love of spicy romance literally on your sleeve. Right, good girl?
Megan, you're making me blush. Save it for the episode.
Okay, fine. Visit thespicyromancebookclub.com and use promo code SMUTINPUBLIC for 15% off your entire order. See you at the bookstore. Our main male character, Nico Trochi. His family calls him Junior, by the way, and Lauren, for the most part, calls him Nick. I am going to refer to him as Nick at the moment. It's complicated because he is Nico Jr. His father is also named Nico. When you're reading it, it's obvious which person
who it is
you're
they're
talking
talking
to,
about,
but I
yeah.
know in our summarization, it might not be that easy. We're going to stick with Nick, and then in some of the flashback scenes, I think I refer to him as Junior when he's younger.
Yeah.
Right. So this book picks up a few months after the events of book 1, Lights Out. And Allie and Josh are still around, and Nick and Josh are friends at this point. And Nick and all of his brothers are caught up with their father's mob affairs, right? And as the eldest, Nick is really Nico Sr.'s primary fixer. And we know from context that Nick has definitely hurt people for his dad, possibly has killed people for him. And we know that this guy is, battling some demons.
Oh, yeah.
In regards to the things he's had to do.
Pretty quickly at the beginning, you get that hint of like, oh, he's in a dark place.
Well, and it's because the story, puts you right into the action where Nick is with his brothers. He is covered in blood and he is pushing a car that has a body in it into a river.
Yeah, a normal Tuesday night for mobsters.
Oh my God. We're going to do offensive Italian accents. Please don't come for us, Italian lobby.
Yeah.
But we can't help it.
I'm sorry.
It's going to skew very heavily Mario Brothers.
Yeah, there's not going to be a good mafia accent in this entire episode. I'm sorry.
No, not to be found. We do hear the name Tommy Marchetti. File that name away for later. It will be important, and we'll talk about it in a minute. after this whole scene of the car being shoved into the river, one of Nick's brothers goes, "So, we going out for your birthday or what?" I'm so sorry. You started it and now I can't
I'm
stop.
sorry.
It's all good. And Nick is like, that's not really how I want to spend my 29th birthday.
Yeah.
What a wonderful father, sending your kid out to hide a body.
Yeah, I bet you he forgot. That feels like the kind of dad he is. And he's like,
Honestly.
you know, Nico's like, oh, I've got plans. And he's like, no, I think your plans are hiding a body.
That's definitely the kind of thing that Nico's mom keeps track of and like carries the mental load for.
Yeah.
You know, like she buys the presents and the card and then Nico Sr. just signs the card.
Signs it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's the energy. So Nick defers. He does not want to go out with his brothers. And as he's heading home, again, we see inside of his head that he is struggling. This is a bad day for him. He does not enjoy this work. So even though he is acting like the devil, it is not inside of him. You know, he doesn't want to be that person necessarily. And the better offer that he has, for the record, is to go home and watch porn. Yeah. That's what he chooses to do.
I mean, he's just preparing for his 30s.
It's a very heterosexual male thing to do.
Yeah, single guy on his 29th birthday. What's he honestly doing for the evening?
Jerking it.
He's going home jerking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Nick has very specific taste in porn, and what he specifically wants to watch is Lauren Marchetti. And Lauren refers to herself as a cam girl, which means she does sex work online. She does not meet up with people. And she works on this world's version of OnlyFans, which is called Me For You. And she makes excellent money from both subscriptions and by offering custom-made content for individual users. Now, Lauren has got a lot of flack from her friends and family for being an online sex worker, especially because she grew up Catholic, but she is extremely proud of what she does. She even does advocacy work, including lobbying local council people to vote for measures that make sex work safer in the city. And she also co-owns a kink club with several other like-minded people, including her two roommates, Taylor and Ryan. Taylor is also a cam girl, and Ryan helps with all of their camera work and editing, which, man, what a great setup. It's a content creator household.
100%. That is the dream. And also the roommate banter was superior throughout this book. And my favorite Ryan quote, oh no, this is a Taylor quote, was, "Hey, a sub wants a close-up video of my asshole. Who's going to help me bleach and wax it?" I want to live in that house.
Just got to get in there. Look, we got work to do because sex work is work, my friends. And it's
100%.
You know, sometimes you got to put on, you know, your outfit to do that.
Time is money. Get to bleaching.
Yes.
And Ryan's response is perfect. Their response is, "I already have to film it. I don't know if I want to spend that much time with your asshole today. Like, can Lauren help you?" Thanks.
I wonder if they get to write bleach off as a business expense.
Oh, they should absolutely be able to do that. 100%.
Yeah. And we do get to add a new pet into the Into Darkness pet family.
Walter.
Which is, Walter, the 100-pound shepherd. And, you know, he needs to honestly start helping pay rent for these people.
Yeah, we could put a camera on him maybe, get him to sit like a good boy.
A GoPro POV. I was actually thinking more that he should be holding a boom mic in the corner.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Fantastic. A reflector, maybe.
Yeah, I got to get that light angle just right.
Yeah.
To me, I was just like, what things this dog has probably seen, though.
Oh my God, yes, of course. Like, we always kind of joke about the trauma your dog must see if you watch people have sex.
Yeah.
But it's got to be just as bad if he's watching you, like, spread eagle in front of your bathroom sink,
Yes.
you know?
Watching the bleaching happening.
Oh, Walter.
Oh, man.
He seems like a mensch.
Yeah, I think maybe this may be why there's not much going on behind those eyes. He's just trying to block it all out.
There you go.
Yeah. Nick is Lauren's top paying subscriber, and he uses the alias NT95, and he spends his birthday requesting a custom video from Lauren.
Treat yourself, Nick. Treat yourself.
Oh, I just realized what his username means.
It's his initials and the year he was born.
It's his, I kept thinking there was like a deeper meaning to it.
Why?
Yeah, because I don't know. I assumed this book had more symbolism in it. No, it's just a dude being like, what should I choose my username as?
Okay, for the record, my first screen name was also some combination of my initials and the year I was born.
Oh, okay, all right.
So don't come for me. Don't come for
All right,
Nick and I.
All right, all of those of you with basic bitch
I will
usernames.
say,
seems.
It's giving millennial.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
I understand.
Oh, man.
I really liked the scenes where he's at home alone, just engaging with Lauren's content.
Okay, he's literally like talking to her in the video.
Yes.
And he like at
very
one point,
creepy but sexy.
And at one point he thinks that she answers back. She's like, "Oh, like stop telling me I'm such a tease." And he's like, "Oh," and he pauses it to make sure that it's not a live stream. And it's like you can tell she's made him so much content that
Yes.
she can just tell where the hits are.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. But I thought this was a really fun and creative way of getting more spice into the book, but still letting the couple have a slower burn feel.
Yeah.
We are getting the spice.
Yeah.
you know?
And that's who the book is here for.
And we are the intended audience.
Yeah.
So A+ on that, Navessa. Good work.
Good use. Good use. So they have been corresponding through the app a lot over the years, and Lauren feels very unguarded with NT95. And through his alias, Nick has shared sanitized versions of his life, like how he has this issue with his father, how he wants to get away from his family. And he checks up on a lot of the things she's doing in life. He tells her to stay safe when she's going out to rallies. He asks how her work with the council people is going. Like, they have an actual relationship together online. But now if you're thinking through this entire section that we've been talking about Lauren, did you say Lauren Marchetti, as in Tommy Marchetti?
I sure did. Wait, you sure did.
The owner of the car with the body in it that Nick was just rolling into a river? You would be right, or I would be right in this case. Tommy is Lauren's father, and now Tommy is missing.
Whoa.
Whoa.
There's no way that's going to become a problem.
That's definitely not going to come back to bite anybody in the ass.
Just kidding. That is the whole problem. Yeah. Nick doesn't just follow Lauren on Me For You. He is straight up stalking her in real life and pretty much has been since high school. Yeah. And despite disappearing her father, Nick is determined to find a way out of Lauren's phone and into her life for real. And he has been like gathering his Lauren intel, and he is ready to leverage everything he has learned about her turn-ons, her kinks, all of this time he has spent sexting her. He is going to put this to good use because obviously being incredibly good in bed with Lauren is step one on his master plan to making her fall in love with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A brilliant plan. But he knows that his father is not going to approve of this relationship any more now than he did when they were in high school. So Nick decides he needs to make a clean break from his father and from all of the crooked business to do with the mob. And then he and Lauren will finally be free and safe to be together. His first move is to approach Lauren in neutral territory, which is during Sunday Mass.
The best place for pickups.
That's where I find all my men. Church, says the Jewish girl. Yeah. He overhears some people talking shit about Lauren because of her sex work, by the way, and he comments on the hypocrisy to himself, which I very much appreciated, because literally it's like, oh, half the people in this congregation are in the mob or are connected to someone in the mob.
Yep.
And you're fine with cutting off fingers, killing folks, blowing up their cars, but taking your shirt off is where you draw the line.
Yeah, the minute that dollars exchange for titties, like...
Yeah, that's somehow a moral failing.
Yes, that's the moral
but selling fake olive oil is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Look, Jesus said...
That's right. One of the commandments was don't show dem titties.
Yeah, I don't recall... I don't recall Jesus, being okay with scamming people, but you know who he did hang out with?
Who?
Sex workers.
You know what? That's true. He did.
He
and
did.
that's the only high horse we'll be on today.
That's it. That's my only Christian high horse.
100%. So Nick, dodges his own mom and like a gaggle full of sweet old church ladies in order to corner Lauren alone. Even though Lauren notices that her old flame Junior is starting to fill out that 3-piece suit pretty well these days.
Oh, yeah.
She is not happy to see him. When she gets back to her apartment after their run-in at church, she starts to tell her roommates, the whole backstory about their checkered history. And we find out that these two really grew up in the same neighborhood. So they've known each other their entire lives. But Junior was always the cool guy, and Lauren was kind of a dweeby nerd who wrote fan fiction.
Yes, we all know that girl. Probably a lot of you were that girl. Let's be real.
I know that girl because I know you.
Yeah, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Shots fired.
I'm not denying it. I absolutely did write all the weird fanfic. So Lauren,
We both have AO3 accounts, okay?
Yeah.
It's fine. So one weekend their church is having like a fair, and they're both running booths, like a ring toss and a beanbag toss, and they're working right across from each other. And so they end up spending the day together. They end up getting really flirty, and eventually they start messing around. And in the evening, Junior fingers her during the fireworks. And apparently this like imprinted on Lauren's brain and gave her like exhibitionism and voyeurism kink.
Core memory unlocked.
Exactly. She's like, someone could see us at any minute, and that's really hot.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. I get a core memory. So they were hot and heavy really just for a few weeks at this time. And Lauren wrote everything down in her diary. She wrote down stuff that they were doing together and stuff she wanted them to do together, right? Fantasies. And at the time, Lauren had a friend that was kind of competitive with her. And this girl also had a crush on Junior. And at kind of a sleepover gone wrong, this girl ends up finding the diary and in a fit of high school jealousy and poor decisions, spreads gossip all over the school that Lauren is making up horny stories about Junior and that Lauren is a creep. Right. And of course, this gets around. Everybody hears about it, including a lot of the adults in these folks' lives.
Yeah.
And Junior, instead of acknowledging the rumors, completely denies that he has ever done anything with Lauren and lets Lauren take the fall alone.
Yeah.
And she catches a ton of heat from this, and things get so bad that she ends up changing schools and they never talk again until this interlude at the church that just happened. What Lauren didn't know at the time is that both of their fathers really disapproved of this budding relationship. And Junior, even as a teenager, was already being groomed by his father to have a pretty significant role in, the family business. And so Junior was aware that his father was kind of threatening Lauren's safety.
Yeah.
And so he made the decision to protect her and kind of distance himself from her, and figured that whatever fallout was going to happen from people thinking she made up these stories was safer than him confirming the rumors and putting her kind of in the crossfire between these two dads that didn't get along.
Yeah.
A little Romeo and Juliet
I was just about
energy.
to say, there's another romance trope of I hurt you to protect you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And of course, Lauren never knew about any threats. And so understandably at this point, she thinks that Nick is full of shit and cannot be trusted. Meanwhile, Taylor, the roommate, is going, hate sex, hate sex, hate sex. I also vote hate sex for the record.
Me too.
But being horny is making Lauren have very poor decision making. So she decides the way to get this out of my head is to go and get some Strange. Let's go over to Velvet.
Yes. The kink club that Lauren co-owns is called Velvet. Nick slipped a tracker into Lauren's bag at church, so he's able to follow her there.
Creepy.
Oh, yeah. Dubious.
Dark romance
Dark
hot.
romance hot.
Real life creepy.
Yep. Don't do that, guys.
Do we even need to warn people?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, sadly, yes.
Yeah.
Nick finds Lauren in a room called Watch, and he clears the seat next to her. And as he attempts to apologize, he doesn't get very far because the show begins. And as far as sex shows go, as we said earlier, this one is pretty tame. It's just an attractive heterosexual couple having vanilla sex. Granted, they're doing it in front of a crowd, and the crowd is having like their own fun. So you're getting a show pretty much everywhere you look.
I don't know how kinky this is.
I
can't tell.
I mean, it's definitely kinky, but I just,
I am broken.
Me too. So, smut readers.
Get in the comments. Please tell us.
So is this crazy kinky?
Is this
to you
kinky?
Guys? Yeah, we have problems. Nick grew up conservative Catholic, so this is transformative for him, and he mentally comments to himself that this is probably ruined porn for him forever.
Even his special Lauren porn.
While Junior's entranced, Lauren is sitting next to him freaking out because she knows that Nick lied to get into this club, and she's expecting that any moment he's going to go all macho man mafia, heterosexual creep, and ruin everything. But to her surprise, Nick not only behaves himself, but she figures out real quick.
He's kind of into it.
Oh, he's into it. Yeah. After the performance, Lauren leads Nick on a sexy little chase through the building before letting him catch her in an empty stairwell. Nick continues to ask for her forgiveness and reveals that he's secretly been fixing things in her life without her knowing. For example, the girl who found the journal and spread lies all over the school, they happened to find drugs in her locker and she lost out on a scholarship. And the church ladies who were calling Lauren a hoe behind her back, tire slash in the parking lot. And there was even a couple councilmen who got leaned on to convince them to support Lauren's fight for the sex workers.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I know. Oh, gosh. Lauren's like, I don't know if I like this behavior, but man, that's pretty hot.
It's like having a dark guardian angel.
Yeah.
Right?
She's got some.
That's been watching over you.
Mm-hmm. Those are some understandable mixed feelings. Yeah. And, but she doesn't want to let Nick off that easy. She tells him to beg.
Get it, girl.
Oh, yeah. And so the mafioso, he puts his male pride aside and he falls to his knees and he finishes apologizing with his hands. Nick is putting his Lauren homework to good use. All that time that he spent studying her videos and sexting with her, he knows exactly how she likes it. Lauren is a weak-kneed puddled in the stairwell when they're interrupted by her roommates doing a wellness check.
Good on them.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. With his work here done, Nick leaves Lauren wanting more, but her night takes a less fun turn when she's called into an owner's meeting for the club to discover that their landlord is hiking the rent yet again, and this time it is way out of their budget. It is obvious that Velvet is a very important place to Lauren in her community, and even though she could float the rent for a couple of months off of her cam girl money, it's not really a permanent fix. The crew at Velvet needs to start looking for a new location, and many of the buildings in the city are not friendly towards kinky spaces, which is 100% real life accurate.
Back at home, Lauren and her roomies are discussing weird subscriber requests, and poor Taylor got someone who wants her to baste herself like a turkey, and the crew goes, "Oh, your first cannibal, huh?" You were waiting to see how they'd get cannibals in.
I saw that there was a tag in this book for a trigger for cannibals, and I was like, how are we fitting this in this book? And I was actually worried that Josh's dad or something was going to escape or something in this book.
Because he's still alive in the continuity of the story.
And as far as I know, still a cannibal.
The Ken doll killer.
Yeah, yes. That's right. But no, they didn't end up going with that.
Which I'm fine with. My big question is, why didn't we assume that this was a food fetish thing?
Yeah.
More than a cannibalism fetish thing, which is way more common.
Why did we skip? Why did we skip from food fetish to cannibal?
It's a big jump to go straight there.
Yeah. My other question personally was, Navessa Allen, you've now had 2 books that you've had fear of cannibalism in. Personally, I've never had a fear of cannibals.
Until now.
What's going on in your life?
Are you okay?
Are you blink if there's a cannibal near you that you need us to save you from.
Who's forcing you to write this? Love. So anyway, Lauren gets a special request from her favorite sub, NT95, and he offers her $5,000 to meet up in person. Now, Lauren has her boundaries with her subscribers, and she tries to let him down very politely that she doesn't meet subs in person. But frankly, she's also disappointed that her favorite sub asked that question, because in all the years they've been corresponding, he has never done anything creepy or weird.
Yeah.
And now she's like, oh no.
Oh no, he ruined it.
Exactly. He kind of ruined it. But as she's crafting her response, he sends another photo, and it's a picture of her school diary. The one that kicked off this whole situation with Junior, back in high school. And that gives her pause. And then NT95 calls her Lo, which is a nickname that's short for her first and middle name, Lauren Olivia. But Nick Junior is the only person who has ever called her that. So immediately she knows that this subscriber is Nick. And now she's like mentally rewriting
How long?
their entire
Yeah.
dynamic with this updated information. And it's pretty jarring.
Yeah, she specifically said he was like a day one sub.
Oh, of course he was.
Yeah.
Because that boy was stalking the shit out of her. He was like, you're going
Yeah.
to put your titties on the internet. Sign me up.
Yeah. Nick definitely lives in a crappy apartment because he's sending Lauren all of his money.
Because technically he lives at home. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Her lifestyle is his lifestyle. For sure. So she 100% takes his money, by the way, and they meet up at an arcade in their old neighborhood, kind of after hours. And that also happens to be the setting of one of her sexy fanfics that they never got a chance to act out back then. And Nick decides he sort of wants to help her reclaim the bad memories that are connected to her diary, which honestly is pretty sweet.
It's so sexy. I'm going to be real.
Oh, very hot. And in fact, in her story, Lauren was blowing Nick in a photo booth while it was taking pictures.
Yeah.
And he flips the script on her and he goes down on her while it's taking pictures instead. And I have to say, Nick, you are a red flag, but you're putting in the work.
Man, yeah. He's doing those dream guy things.
Yes.
He's reading your creative work. He's yes-anding it, right? Oh man.
He's supporting you professionally.
He's supporting your professional dreams. Yeah. There may be some dubious things about him, but
Yeah, I'm not saying that Lauren should forgive him or trust him. I'm just saying I think that he's going the extra mile.
Oh, he is.
That's all.
Nick's getting a gold star.
Maybe make a pro-con list, okay?
Yeah. Oh, but I think the con
Is that he's a literal convict or could be at any moment? Valid.
Oh man. Against her better judgment, Lauren makes plans to meet Nick at Velvet again. He did a good job in the photo booth. That's what earned him a second date.
It was a picture perfect date.
Nick wants to break away from his father, but for now he is still on call 24/7, and Nico Sr. expects Nick to attend a family dinner. We get cameos from Allie and Josh.
That's right. They're going to the dinners
Yeah,
now.
the dinners that they promised to come to. Yeah. And they are a couple, obviously, again, from Lights Out. Allie is sporting that serious rock that she ended up getting at the end of the last
Her
book.
and Taylor both engaged.
Oh, yeah. And she is trying to show it off to the entire family. And we finally get a description of Josh from the first time from Nick's POV. And I'm going to be real with you. This kind of ruined Josh for me.
It did not ruin it for me, but I understand because from Allie's perspective, Josh is very mysterious and like a funny, gorgeous guy. And from Nick's point of view, he's just a dweeb.
He's just this weird little tattooed covered dweeb. Yeah.
Josh is corny.
He is corny.
He's very corny.
Yeah, and it's like there's a couple of these sort of moments where he kind of tries to go into this hardcore spot where they sort of mention like, oh, somebody's been threatening girls, and he goes like, where?
Right. And it's like, are you like a mad little puppy?
Yeah, and it's like, Josh, we know that the most hardcore thing you've ever done is accidentally asphyxiate someone by putting duct tape over their mouth and nose. And then you threw up when you found out that you'd done it, right?
That's so true.
Like, we know that he's not the badass on the block here.
Meanwhile, Junior has been hiding bodies for Daddy since he was 15. So I understand why Junior is like, okay, this fucking guy, this jamook over here.
This feels like a large dog looking at the yapping chihuahua going like, okay, buddy.
We know you're big mad.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick is painfully watching the clock, knowing that he's going to be late for his date with Lauren. But she can't receive messages on her phone because in kink clubs,
you don't get to have
you
your
don't get to
phone.
have your cell phone.
Yeah. No pictures.
Yeah.
Not consensual.
And at the club, Lauren thinks that she has been stood up. So she has already pivoted. She is dropping Nick like a hot potato. And again, I do not blame her for this.
This is like a delicate time for their budding, situation.
Yeah, and like any little thing can totally ruin it. And him not showing up on time, definitely one of those things.
Right. It's like you're putting in all this effort, show up.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. But thankfully, Nick rolls in like a thunderstorm and he sweeps her off her feet. He actually physically carries her into their favorite room, which is the watch room again, just in time for another performance.
Mildly kinkier.
Yeah, this one's got a little bit more kinky to it because we get our third Jacob's Ladder on the Smut in Public podcast.
We did it!
Wah, 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 wah.
Jacob's Ladder! Jacob's Ladder! Which I still have not seen a real one in person.
All I'm seeing him now is in Smut stuff. I still haven't run across one in the nature yet, so, you know, I can give it time, I guess.
Dick piercings are having a renaissance.
I guess so. I feel like this is going to be a lot of guys going, is this what girls want?
Yes, it is, men. Go and get them.
Go get 'em.
Do it. I dare you.
Meanwhile,
mid Jacob's Ladder viewing.
Mid-Jacob's Ladder viewing, Lauren goes down on Nick while he watches the room devolve into basically an orgy. I guess this is pretty kinky.
At minimum, it's extremely hot.
Yes. Yeah. So when we circle back to the hanging out portion of the evening, because I personally, I'm always pro a date that starts with sex and then ends with hanging out, you know, because you don't want to be having the sex while you're full afterwards.
Now that you're saying that, I've actually reclaimed a memory that almost all of my dates with my husband, we met up, banged, and then had dinner.
Yes, because that's the correct order of things.
You're exactly right. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to want to have sex with you at 9 o'clock at night, to be honest.
Yeah.
Could we do that at 6?
Maybe there's a certain age that you get to where you gotta flip it.
Thanks for calling me out for dating in my 30s. But yes,
Yeah.
that's fair.
That's the millennial
I think that
date.
is what happened. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to need to go night-night later.
Yep,
So
yep.
if we want to get it done, we got to get it done now.
To me, it's a jostling thing. I don't want to be
Oh.
full. I don't want to be full and being jostled.
Both of our reasons are very practical.
Yep, there we go. Practicality in your sex lives. That's where it's at.
So anyway, during the hanging out portion of their date,
Yeah, Lauren ends up confiding in Nick that they're having financial troubles with the club. And even though Lauren is handling it, Nick's scheming mind takes off like a shot, and before the evening is over, he's already got Josh cyber stalking the landlord, looking for dirt on him online.
he sicks the chihuahua on him.
Yes. He's like, hey, you may not be good at hiding bodies, but you're good on the computer.
It's true.
Nick admits that he wants to leave the mafia and go legit, but he's not really sure how to make that work, and also his lifestyle still
Yeah, it's a lot of
function.
money to support
Yeah.
the lifestyle that he and both Lauren have become accustomed to.
That is true. In her brownstone kind of a thing she's got going on. Yeah. And he makes the mistake of asking her, what do you want to do after you're done being a sex worker? And this ends up being a complete landmine. Because Lauren, she isn't a sex worker because she's forced to be one.
She's proud of it.
She's proud of it. This is her job. This is her community. And Cam work helps out with her activism, and she wants to do it forever. And this conversation is really tense, and it gets interrupted by some drunk guys bursting into the club past security. And Nick has temper issues, and it rears its head, and he puts one of the guys down. Velvet has a no violence policy, so he ends up out and with a ban.
Oof. Rough date.
Yeah. None of that ended the way that they had hoped it would.
For sure. So the next day is Sunday, and Lauren joins her completely badass, for the record, grandma at church. Her grandma is proud that she has a sex worker for a granddaughter, and kind of like rubs it in the faces of the little church ladies, and really is encouraging Lauren to be a slut while she's young and hot.
Oh yeah. She goes like, one dick for 45 years, sweetie. Like, I wish I'd have been more of a slut when I'd had a chance.
OG grandma.
Oh, yeah, I need some of that. Can I swap out? I love my grandma, but I need more of this energy in my life.
Yeah, for sure. So the church gossip today is centered around the fact that Tommy is missing, by the way, Lauren's father. She's not really worried about it, though. You know, they weren't exactly close, and he has dropped off the map plenty of times. So there's no reason for her to think that something is amiss, other than the fact that he's a shady dude.
Yeah.
After Nick's sudden departure from Velvet last night, Lauren had realized that they accidentally swapped cell phones. This time a legitimate accident, not just Nick fucking around and trying to...
swapping them
I
out.
could see him be like, if I switch our phones, we'll have an excuse to see each other again.
Yeah.
This one was legitimately an accident.
He did still take this opportunity to put tracking software on her cell phone, though.
Look, when an opportunity presents itself...
Look, in a dark romance.
Waste not, want not,
Yeah,
Emmy.
yeah.
Okay. But anyway, they have to meet up regardless in order to make the switch back. Nick can tell that Lauren is emotionally pulling back from him because of, you know, awkward
comments
moments.
that he made.
Comments that he made. And so he has to take action to save things. And his solution is to drag her into a confessional booth to remind her of how good he is in bed. Because again, step one to loving me is getting you off.
Look, he has to prove value, okay?
He does.
Yeah.
He needs to be a high value man.
Yes.
And that involves orgasms for Lauren.
Yes.
And oh my God, this scene was so hot.
Yes.
So he is, they're in a little booth. So he's holding her in his lap and he's apologizing for everything old and new and everything, especially his comments about her sex work. Mm-hmm. And he clarifies with her that it came out wrong. He's never had to talk about this topic intelligently before, so he did not have the right words to use, but he understands how important this life is for her. He is not trying to force her to leave it or even ask her to leave it. He's fine if this is the work that she wants to do forever, and he is proud of whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
And while they're having that conversation, a priest comes into the nave, which I had to look up what
that was
in
the
that
real
script,
word.
if that was the correct.
Yeah.
It's the word they use in the book, but I'm like, what the fuck is a knave?
Yeah,
Again, I'm Jewish. I don't
only
know.
remember it from choir.
Great. Okay. A priest comes in
Yeah.
to the area where confessional booths are and starts talking to someone about whatever. And that's when things get hot because, again, Lauren has this kind of like exhibitionism. Are we going to get caught fetish because of her fireworks finger banging? And they end up playing a game of just the tip. And it was extremely hot.
Yeah. I mean, again,
it did it for me.
On this podcast, we are pro sex in church.
Yes, debauch that confessional.
Oh yeah, it was a fantastic scene.
Way up there.
Definitely got us one of those 0.5s on the spice ratings.
Oh, for sure. This scene alone was worth a point.
Yeah. So to prove to Lauren that he is not ashamed of her, he invites her to Allie and Josh's engagement party, and we return to the lights out household. Fred the cat, as you remember from our first book, he now has a younger sister named Maud, and Josh turns out to be the kind of cat person who builds an entire catio for his cats.
Love that.
I'm here for it forever. Yes to a cat man.
We love you, Josh.
Oh yeah. So now we've got Fred and Maud helping fight crime. Obviously Maud's the little Robin figure.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Fred is Batman and Maud is Robin. Yes. And they're doing crime.
Yes. So what does that make Josh though? Josh
Alfred.
is Alfred.
Yes. He's Alfred. He's the tech guy.
He's the one who's making them their cute little tea.
He's doing all the research.
Oh, yes.
We already know that he's not good in the field,
That's
right?
true.
We got to send the
Yeah.
cats out to do the dirty work. Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Yeah, they're doing their cat burglary.
Cat burglary.
Well, Josh is in on the computer.
And then like the dog's driving the getaway car.
Yes, got to get Walter in there. Oh my God. Love it. Yes, loving the lights out animals. The best part of this scene comes when Lauren actually recognizes both Allie and Josh because they're in kind of the same
He's
field.
a cam boy.
Yeah, he is. And she's like, Ollie oxen? And they're like, shh, no one else
knows.
here knows. But it does make this instant connection between her and Allie. Which
they have this rapport immediately.
Yeah, immediately starts. It was really great. The fun gets interrupted again by mob business, and Lauren struggles with the realization that until Nick can get out from under his father, that he's going to be disappearing at odd hours, and there's going to be a lot of parts of his life that he just can't talk about. But now her connection with him feels so deep, she's willing to try to make that work. In the background, Nick and Josh have been tracking down Velvet's landlord's information, and they discover that the reason he's been giving them the squeeze is because he has gambling debts. And Nick thinks that he can leverage this by buying the landlord's debts for cheap and trading that debt for the building. And if he can secure the building, then not only will Velvet be safe, but he will also have the ability to try and go legitimate. For sure. The bookie, though, ends up being none other than Josh's best friend, Tyler, who's apparently been also leading a double life.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, remember good guy Tyler from book 1? Apparently they're giving him a dark romance glow up, a bit like Colin from Bridgerton. He had to go from being the normal guy in book 1 to being apparently a secret loan shark.
Secret criminal. You know what? Fair play. If Josh can be a masked camboy / hacker, Tyler is allowed to run secret poker games.
I guess so.
It kind of explains why neither of them realized what the other one was doing in book one, because they were busy with their own bullshit.
Every single time they had any time to talk about it, they had to sneak away and go do their own thing.
I'm imagining Tyler is like just snuck back into the house at 1 a.m, but then Josh is in a window at 1:15 in the morning, and they're both just like sneaking past the other one's rooms, but neither of them are in the rooms.
Yeah, exactly. I personally think that this is Navessa Allen's trying to make you care about whoever the male MC is in the last book.
We have to set him up for the next book.
So we're setting up Tyler for the next one. But the Tommy Marchetti shaped shoe is about to drop. Lauren visits her sister Kristen, who is a bitch, by the way. Just want to put that on the record. But she's also connected with mafia gossip circles. And word on the street is that the last person that Tommy was seen alive with was Nico Sr.
Sus.
Yes. And Kristen is sure that this means that their dad is dead. And Lauren starts questioning everything. Like, was Nick's sudden reappearance in her life a coincidence? Or is she just one of the loose ends that Nick is going to have to tie up for his father?
Right, because he's the fixer.
Yeah, he's the fixer.
Right, and everybody knows that.
But we're going to stop there for spoilers, okay? But Megan, tell us what we need to finish up this book.
Yeah, so a few things need to happen in the dramatic conclusion of Caught Up. Lauren is going to confront Nick about his role in her father's disappearance. Nick also has to enact his plan to leave, the mafia life, and both him and Lauren might suffer some consequences from that attempt. And then finally, we get a smattering of bondage finally in a sex scene.
A little bit of kink in the kinky book.
A little bit of kink in the kinky book. And again, it's funny for me how mild the kink felt for a book that is primarily taking place in a sex club.
Yeah, I would say at least like maybe 20-25% of this book is in a sex club.
Minimum. So, Emmy, what were your final thoughts on Caught Up?
Yeah, so I actually have a huge pet peeve with romance books that feature sex workers, where one of the love interests is a customer, like a previous customer, and they save, big quotations,
from the life.
They get them off the street, take them out of the life, because I hate that. And so props to this book, because Navessa Allen does not use that in this book.
Yeah, Lauren is a very self-empowered female character who is written very, very well. And for the record, I shared your concern that the story might go that way, especially because in Nick's POV, we see so much of his possessiveness with Lauren, but he does not act that out like the jealous boyfriend, especially when it comes to her camp.
Yeah. Yes. And in the end, he's actually really sex positive, and he doesn't want her to quit the cam work once they're together. And I just want to put out there, you should not date a sex worker if you are not okay with them doing sex work. Okay. So I just points to the writer for doing this.
Yeah. Good job, Navessa Allen.
Yeah.
We liked that.
I also did really appreciate the positive sex worker representation.
And kink representation.
Yeah, and the kink representation. And I felt like that was really realistic about how this is just like a regular job and what the pitfalls and hazards that people can run into when they're in this business.
Yeah. It's not always very glamorous. See also needing your roommates to bleach your butthole for you.
Asking where can I get 1 pound of onions at this time of night?
Correct. For your cannibalism
for my cannibalism subscribers.
And I also think the portrayal of Velvet, which is the kink club, is from my experience, is very realistic. And even if the kinkier parts of the sex club were a little toned down for me.
Yeah. This book did try to be kinky, but honestly, the raunchiest that it kind of got was voyeurism or exhibitionism, and with like a little tad bit of rope play thrown at the end. So it was spicy, though.
It was very spicy, regardless of that. And honestly, I would rather the kink be mild and the spice be spicin' than it be incredibly kinky, but it's not done well.
Oh, yeah.
So
bad representation.
Staying in your lane is fine. Nothing
we don't
problematic.
We don't want a 50 Shades situation.
Correct.
Here.
We don't want a 50 Shades of Grey situation, and for what it portrayed it really accurately.
I agree.
Yeah. Also, I think an accurate representation that even progressive cities can be pretty unfriendly to kink spaces, and that folks that are in that business have to jump through a lot of hoops to stay in business. And a few examples of that are they talk about the fact that Velvet can't get a liquor license. And also the club did a lot more around background checks and security than I've ever known an in-person real life club to do. So all of those details about Velvet made the book feel really realistic and enjoyable to me for those pieces.
Yeah, and so for those of you who have never been to one of these places, we're telling you, this is a good representation of what you might find in a place like that.
For sure.
Yeah. So my final thoughts, this book wasn't bad, but it wasn't memorable either. There just wasn't really that much like plot tension for me as there was in Lights Out. Like I liked it, I guess, but I feel like I'm going to read 2 more books and I'll not remember the plot about this one at all.
I don't know that it really had much of a story other than, okay, Nico's in the mob. He wants to leave the mob and he's trying to get Lauren to fall back in love with him.
Yeah, I did like the whole thing of, kind of a Romeo and Juliet without the suicide of they were once together as teenagers and now they're getting a second chance as adults.
Yeah, it was a really good second chance. But I will say, despite the pacing issues we said that Lights Out had, I liked Lights Out better than Caught Up. And Lights Out is our episode 8 review. So if anyone's interested, you can go back and see what we had to say about that book.
Yeah, like we hangered on a bit about how there was like a right turn in the middle of the book. We're into a mob romance.
It pivoted into Mafia.
It did, yeah. But I actually think that now that I've seen just a Mafia Romance, I'm like,
go back to true crime.
I actually liked the other when it was half and half. It's almost like when you ask for something and then you get it. And you're like,
careful what you wish for.
Yeah, careful what you wish for.
This book is, it's 100% Mafia romance, but there just wasn't enough drama for me.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of mafia stuff happening. There wasn't a lot of tension happening. It was all very internal for the characters. I did enjoy the big blow up that Nick has with his father eventually. I just wish that more had happened in this book.
Yeah, that is a good scene, but it comes like super at the end and it's I think it's relatively short, to be honest with you.
It is. And even the resolution that Nick and Lauren have to find from what happened to her father, I don't want to say what happened, but it feels a little flat to me.
It's all right. So for me, it's a 3.5. I didn't hate it. It's not bad.
But I wouldn't read it again.
Yeah, it was just meh for me.
And I will say, Tyler, I'm not as excited about as a protagonist.
Me neither.
So TBD, if for my personal TBR, I'm going to read the 3rd book, which I believe is called Game On.
Yeah.
But I very much enjoyed Lights Out.
Okay.
So it was still a win to start the series.
Sure. So yeah, we'll see if we do a third review.
If you really want us to, you better leave a comment.
Yeah. Watch this one, share it, link it to people.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
Do you want to talk about that book?
I do, actually. So for those of you who've reached this far into the episode, all 8 of you, hi. For people who are interested in kink spaces, I've got a book for you. This book is called Kink Is. It's a series of interviews that were done with people who are in the kink scene, my wife included. They asked them what their experiences with kink was and why kink was their superpower. Oh. And so there's a lot of different people talking about what their specific thing is, why that makes them feel the way they do, why they think it's a thing that's important to them in their life, places that they've been, people that they've met, the community in general. I can't really actually hold up this book to show you the pictures.
You could show Jess's page,
I can show Jess's page.
Which is completely safe for work.
Yes, my wife who does amazing.
She is
drag.
Very goth.
Yeah, I'll get a closer picture.
Yeah. We'll put one up in an overlay.
She does amazing like drag makeup and stuff and looks. And her specific thing was about how kink helped her get over her anxiety. So she realized that she was able to do these crazy things in scenes and why couldn't she be more courageous like that in her daily life? And especially for smut writers. Check out people who have real life experiences and what they talk about, what they think about for these things, because, I think this will help with writing and it'll help with anybody who's maybe just interested and maybe wants to learn more.
Kink in the kink community.
Yeah.
Because I think for a lot of people, participating in kink is a very empowering experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very fun to read about, especially people's real life experiences with it.
Especially. And so again, this is Kink Is. I'll put a little link for it in YouTube. And this was a local book made on the San Francisco scene.
Nice.
So
I love it. Well, in the meantime, thank you for listening to Smut in Public.
Yeah. And we're going to read more smut and report back.
Yes, we are. Bye.
Bye.